You want some matcha tea? No.
Okay, hey everyone. Welcome to our second live stream. My name is Meg Austin. I'm an academic advisor here for the Center for Advising Career and Student Success at CSU Monterey Bay. I advise for some of the science majors on campus. So I advise for biology, marine science, environmental science, and environmental studies. So we're on day 2 of live streams. We have a couple of our advisors here with us today to answer your all's questions. And I'm gonna, I don't see any questions in the questions box yet. So let me just do an overview of what these live streams are meant to be about. So they're meant to just have you all new otters get an opportunity to get your questions answered live in real time by some of our academic advisors. So we'd love you to ask as many questions as you like. We'll be on here for the next 45 minutes. And if you can't tune in today, then you can watch this back after the live stream is done. They will be posted on our CSUMB Advising YouTube channel, which you can access the same way you access today's live stream, just through our website. So I'm gonna hand it over to our advisors to introduce themselves and to talk about some good tools while we wait for some questions to come in. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex Jernigan. I am the Kinesiology Academic Advisor.
Hi everyone, my name is Gladys Cavadas, and I am the academic advisor for human communication majors and for cinematic arts and technology majors. And this is Monty Ray. He's our otter mascot today, so he's going to be hanging out with us as well. So hi, we're really happy to have you all here, so welcome.
Awesome, thanks. We have a couple questions coming in, but if you want to start while we wait for a couple more to come in, then go ahead and if you want to share your screen and show the students a few things.
Sure, so what we're going to get started on, let us go ahead and share our screen first. Bam! All right, hopefully you should be seeing the main homepage of the CSUMB webpage. What this is this is kind of the go-to, the start page for everybody. What we want to show you is a couple things right off the bat. Typically what I do is I scroll all the way down to the bottom, look at the activities and stuff, but the two things we want to show you, very important as you start figuring out what majors you're in and what classes you need to take, is looking at the catalog and then the class schedule. So we're going to click on the catalog first just to kind of show you where things are. When you click the catalog link, it's going to drop you off on this page. You're going to click academic programs and you're going to click undergraduate programs. None of you are grad students on this live stream, I don't think. And then we're going to have all of the majors listed here that you can choose from, as well as the minors you can choose from. So what we're going to do is, since I'm the kinesiology major and I have control of the mouse, I am going to click kinesiology and kind of show you what you're looking at. So when you click on the major that you want, it should open up with a little bit about what the major is, and then you can click on required courses and see a list of everything that you need to take. Now, kinesiology has 2 concentrations. We're not going to get into the weeds of everything yet, but it's going to list out the classes that you would need for each concentration. So then let's say you figure out, and I'm just going to show you where things are briefly, and then we'll move on to your questions because I'm sure a lot are pouring in right now.
A few coming in, so yeah, go ahead for a few more minutes. That's great.
Sounds awesome. All right, so what we'll do is, so once you figure out like, oh, these are the classes that I need, I want to see what's open. Again, at the bottom of every web page is this catalog link and then the class schedule link. The nice thing about the class schedule link is it takes you to the current semester. So for fall of 2017 is the first one that's up. And then I can click on whichever course subjects I want to take. So I saw Kin 390 on that list. I'm going to look for kinesiology. I'm going to click kinesiology. And these are all of the courses that are offered in the fall, starting with the 100 numbers all the way to the 400. And we could talk a little bit about those in another time. And they actually mentioned it in the last live stream if you logged in then. But then I'm scrolling down to Kin, because it's in order by number, Kin 390, and there's 3 open sections right now, which is really nice, especially for the transfer students coming in. So this is kind of the best way, and it gives you the days, the times, the section number, how many units it is, and then the call number, and we'll talk about those at another time. But again, this is just kind of brief, very, very, very brief overview of what the class schedule page is.
Can you actually click on one to show them something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So one of the really good things about just browsing through the page, the class schedule, is that you can see on the right-hand side, once you click on the class, you can see on the right-hand side the course description. And you would also be able to see if the course has any prerequisites or any co-requisites that you need to take along with the class or prior to the class. And on the left-hand side, as you can see on the screen, the enrollment, open seats, how many are actually still available, and the max for enrollment for the class. And this is just really helpful so that you actually understand what kind of class you're going to be taking and what learning you're going to be doing in this class.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex and Gladys. So we do have some questions coming in. I forgot to mention at the beginning, though, that if you are not sure where to leave your questions, there's a chat box on the right-hand side of the screen when you're watching the YouTube video. So go ahead and just submit those questions there, and we'll get to them throughout this live stream today. And also, we're going to discuss, a range of topics today related to the class schedule, the catalog, registering for classes, getting ready to start here at CSUMB. And I linked a bunch of topics below the live stream video. So if you want to know more information about the things that we talked about today, then go ahead and just browse those links that I put in the notes section of the YouTube video. Okay, so let's do with the first questions. All right. I will be an incoming transfer student. Will I need to take a lower division service learning or just upper division service learning?
Great questions. So one, that depends on what you're actually transferring in with. So if you have your general education area D covered, which means you should have taken, let's say, maybe a general psychology or sociology or something like that related to the G area Ds, you wouldn't have to take a lower division service learning course. But when you meet with your academic advisor, we actually go over everything with you. We will go over all of the general education requirements, and that we will be able to look that up for you. As far as upper division service learning, yes, you will need to take an upper division service learning course. And usually for most majors, that's already built in. So it's not like you're taking an additional course. Now, however, there are a few majors that you do have to go outside of the major to take them. But yes, that is a required course, the upper division service learning. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, next question. I'm a transfer. How long do I have to wait to declare a minor?
Well, it really depends, one, on a few things. So you don't really have to wait any time once you're matriculated to campus. So right around June 5th, we should probably be able to start doing that, but you'd want to contact the advisor for that minor. Now, we're going to be looking at a few different things before we can actually declare the minor. One, can you get it done in 144 units? Because it's not just about coming in, taking all the classes you want to take. We want to make sure that you're graduating in a timely manner and making sure that you have the room to fit a minor into your schedule. And so those are the things that you're going to talk about with the minor advisor and really with your major advisor to see if you actually have the space to do it. But there's really no specific waiting time once you're matriculated to campus.
Awesome. That was from Alicia. Good question. And we have a comment from Diego. Kinesiology in the house.
Real. I like it. Kinesiology may have more room for a minor if you're a kinesiology major.
Good point. So it looks like we have a couple, or at least one kin student watching today, so that's great.
Good. I emailed everybody today.
I should know. Okay, next question by Jessica Pinellas. I wonder who that is. Are the pathways in the catalog accurate? Should I follow that for my first semester?
So what you want to do is make sure that you read through actually your advisor's email that they sent you. So by now, everyone should have received an email from your academic advisor giving you some tips, some scheduling information, access to the catalog, just everything, links, and even our contact information so that you can always just email us back and ask absolutely any questions that you might have regarding your schedule. So as far as us advising for right now, yes, we do advise you to follow that, because maybe some of the courses that are stated on the pathway currently online may already be full, or maybe you think that you have the prerequisites to get in the class and you might not. So that's something that we check for. So my recommendation is to not necessarily go off of the pathways that are online currently, not right now, but instead go off of what we advise you to take. And like I said, email us, and also you can give us a call. Whatever it is, if you want to talk to us one-on-one, you can do that too, or you know, through these webinars as well. So yeah, that's what I would recommend instead of going off of just the online pathway.
Thanks, Gladys. Okay, a question from Caitlin. When do incoming freshmen need to get books for their classes?
So ideally, you know, you want to try to have your books before classes start, but you can really look at the syllabus and wait to order them. The bookstore will have them. You can order them through them and actually rent them through the bookstore, so you don't have to have them until you're here. And I know a lot of folks, especially if you're a freshman moving into the residence halls, you're moving in on I think the 18th, and classes don't start until that following Wednesday, so you still have some time to really make that happen. Once you register for your courses, you can actually go onto the bookstore's website and see what books are required for that course. And there's a list, and you could actually pre-order them from there. That way when you get here, you just pick them up, and it's super easy. And again, a lot of them will be rentals too, so you can save a little extra cash and rent them from the bookstore as well.
Great. All right, next question from Raquel. I will be a transfer student in the fall. Do I need to take some general ed classes, or will most of them transfer from the community college I attended?
So, great question. That really does depend on what you're actually coming in with. Like I said, sometimes a lot of students will think that they have every GE area completed because that they graduated and they just assume that everything is done. But then when they get here, they see that they might need like a history course, or you know, like the political science class that they didn't take at the community college with the American government. So that can be something. Or for example, the language requirement. We have a language requirement here too. So if you're not in a high unit major, then you are required to complete the language requirement, and your advisor should have already emailed you about that as well. So there are a few things that we look at, and everybody as an individual, that's what we're looking at as an advisor. We are looking at your specific transcript and your specific case. So we want to make sure that you are all set for graduation, and that's why we want to meet with you as well one-on-one. So in your first semester, when you start, we would highly recommend that you schedule an appointment to actually create an education plan with us. So this way, you can see everything that you have to take in the future, and we can review all of your general education requirements and make sure that everything has been satisfied. And if something was overlooked, it's okay. We can either have you take that course here, or we can have you maybe take it at the community college near your house, you know, in the next summer if you're only missing one class. So it's nothing to worry about. Just, you know, we're here to help you, but we definitely want to look at your individual transcript and your evaluation.
You'll very likely, a lot of the GE courses that you'll have to take here, if you have to take additional GE courses, they're going to be the upper division general education courses that you can't get at the community college, that you're going to have to take at the university level. And so you're definitely going to have to take, you're very, very likely going to have to take those unless you transfer from a university, but that's case by case. So yes, you will likely have to take GE courses.
Awesome. Okay, questions keep coming in, so I'm excited. This next one is a good opportunity, I think, to show a certain web page on our website. This is a really good question. I am an incoming transfer. If I have over 60 units already, do I need to fulfill the language requirement?
All right.
So the web page that she's referring to, and I will show you where that is. If you're an incoming transfer student, if you're in a high unit major, you may not have to fulfill the language requirement. But if you're not in a high unit major, you will. And so what I'll do is I'll share my screen with you, and we'll go to the language proficiency. I'll tell you how to get there, and I'll show you what that list looks like. Let me go ahead and share the screen real quick. And we are back on academic. We're back on the class schedule. So what I'm going to do is at the top of every CSUMB webpage, there's the search CSUMB page or search CSUMB tab. So I'm going to type in language proficiency, and it looks like I know how to spell today, so that's good. I'm going to put the first link that pops up. And so it's going to say how to fulfill the requirement, but we want to look at the exemptions. Because you're a transfer student, you're coming in with over 60 units, we want to look at the exemptions. So what you're doing is transfer student entering it, high unit major listed below with A through E complete are exempted from the language requirement. And so those high unit majors are these ones right here. Biology, business, computer science, environmental science, technology and policy, liberal studies, marine science, math, nursing, sustainable hospitality management. If you are not in one of these majors and you're a transfer student, you still have to do the language requirement. Only if you are in these majors and you're transferring in with 60 or more units are you exempt from the language requirement. Does that make sense, Meg?
Yes, that's perfect.
Excellent. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you all can see us again. There we go.
Yay. Nice work. Okay. Next question. When do I pay for my classes? Do I pay right after I register, or can I pay at a later time?
That is a great question. I'm going to look up the actual date, but the class, the cost is not going to be posted on your CMS page until it'll be a couple days before the cost is actually posted on your CSUMB webpage. I'm just going to look up the dates for you, and all of this is on the CSUMB webpage as well. So what we're looking at, I'm looking at the dates, deadlines, fall 17. So payment deadline, the last day to pay registration tuition fees is August 1st. Now that may be different depending on what you get financial aid wise, but that's something that you're going to want to reach out to your financial aid counselor to get a better handle on. So keep in mind that August 1st is your payment date. If you do not pay by that date, you will be dropped from your classes unless you have something else worked out with financial aid. And again, that's something you'll definitely want to reach out with them.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and I like to mention too, a follow up to that we can help, point you in the right direction. If we can't answer your questions today, then we can definitely point you in the right direction of who to contact about those questions if it's very specific to certain departments on campus, like financial aid or housing or other offices. All right, next question from Chrissy Lofgren. Don't know who that is either. How can I change my major, or can I if it is impacted?
You want to take that one?
Well, I don't deal with impacted majors.
That's true.
but from my understanding is that you're actually not able to change your major to an impacted major.
Mm-hmm.
You applied as a certain major, and it's impacted for a reason. So you shouldn't be able to change your major.
Mm-hmm. There may be some differences if you meet the impaction requirements for that major, but that's something that you would definitely want to reach out to that advisor. So let's say you're an HCOM major, you're coming in, but you want to change to kinesiology. Kinesiology is currently an impacted major. You definitely want to talk to me so we can look at your case and really go in depth and see like what that's really going to look like for you, and then kind of go through that process together. But that's going to be a little bit more individualistic, and we're going to have to look at kind of what you've completed course history wise.
Right. Yeah, because certain impactions are by courses too. So like so certain majors require certain courses are done prior to transferring into a certain major. So if you have those done, but you're just not that major originally, but you want to change to it, then that might be a little smoother process than if you didn't have any of those prerequisites done. But yeah, the key point is to talk to your advisor, or the advisor of the major you are interested in doing, to talk about the process of potentially changing your major.
And you're going to hear a common theme throughout this entire live stream process, all of the live streams, I'm sure. But the major theme is to talk to your advisor. There's a lot of things that each individual advisor, and because we do advise per major, there's a lot that each person can really tell you based on the course of study that you're looking at.
Boom. Okay, another question from, or actually the first question from Thomas Rogers. How can I get an on-campus job?
So on campus, you can go onto our website, and there's a portion on there where you can find on Otter jobs. And there, do you want to pull it up?
Sure.
Okay. So we're going to share the screen with you.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, let's do it.
But you do need to have access to this, and I'm sure that once that access is given to you, you will receive an email letting you know, and we will not stress this enough. Make sure to check your emails every day.
Yeah,
so,
like the first time we're saying it.
on June 5th, you should have your email available, your CSUMB email. So please make sure to start checking that all the time. From then on, every email that you receive will be sent there. And that is our official form of communication. So you won't get phone calls, you won't get mail, you won't get any of that. You will get emails. So please make sure to check those often. And actually, one of the things that they'll let you know is, hey, this is available now for you to use. Here's the login stuff, right? This is how you log in. This is what Otter Jobs is. So Otter Jobs is where departments can post the jobs that they're currently open for their office. So let's say if we are hiring, we would post the job there, and then you would submit your application, and that's how we would be able to hire people that applied in the pool.
All right, so we'll show you how to navigate to that page. So I'm going to go back to our screen share, and I'm going to start at the main homepage just so you kind of know how to get to that route. So easiest way, honestly, go to, again, the search bar, type in career, because ultimately it's going to get you to a career. You got to start with an internship somehow. Easiest thing, click on the first link, career development. It's going to pull you to this page. What's nice is it actually has a bunch of resources and tools for you. We have career counselors on campus. They are phenomenal and can absolutely help in helping you kind of choose that major you want to go, figure out what path you want to take. We even have assessments that you can actually take to see kind of where you would fit career-wise or major-wise. But we're going to show you kind of the jobs and internships. If you click on this tab that says jobs and internships, pretty specific and self-explanatory. Otter Jobs is what Gladys was just talking about, where there's a lot of on-campus jobs. It goes through the tutorial. It'll tell you how to log in and all of that process. And you can see all the jobs listed there. Then there's another job listing page where there's different ways you can find jobs. So Otter Jobs is here. You can find jobs on LinkedIn. And it goes into different resources on how to kind of search for those specific jobs. And then the tab on internships. So if you're looking at doing internships on campus, some majors have specific internship courses where you could get course credit for it. And then hours, if let's say you're applying to grad school. Kinesiology is one of those things where we have a course that you can actually get academic credit and internship experience through a class, which is awesome. So I definitely recommend that you look at that. And again, talk to your academic advisor and the career advisors. But yeah, so I would recommend that you check this career development website. It's a super great resource for you if you wanted to find additional resources on how to find jobs, how to fill out resume stuff. It's just a great resource out there for you.
Awesome. Awesome.
And back to our faces.
All right, I think that was a great answer to Thomas's question.
Good.
Okay, so we have Diego here again. He says, hello, Diego here, incoming transfer student majoring in kinesiology.
I like it. Welcome, Diego.
Would you recommend completing the university and any general ed requirements before going into classes in the kinesiology major?
I think specifically for kinesiology, I like to kind of mix them up so we could spread out some of your like physiology and biomechanics courses. Again, this is going to be major specific. So those of you that are not kinesiology majors, don't check out because this advice can help you too. A lot of times there's additional resources and a lot of things are they're hierarchical. And so you may have specific courses that you need to take as prerequisites to get to some of the other courses that you need in the major. And so I would recommend that we mix them up a little bit. I have not sent out the list of courses that I recommend to everybody in kinesiology yet. That is happening on Monday of next week. I already have it scheduled. And so that's coming to you very soon of the courses you should look at. But I would absolutely recommend mixing in the general education, university requirements, and the major courses just to kind of break things up and make sure that we can be as successful as possible.
All right. Next one down from David. I'm an incoming transfer student and I'd like to know if newcomers register later than returning students. Is this why some of the classes have students already enrolled in or already enrolled before we had a chance?
Yes, so returning students registered during the fall semester, and with new students, you all register after orientation and we get you to campus and we tell you more about the classes that you're going to need. What's nice is that because you're coming in and there's still so many classes that you're going to need, there are still going to be classes for you to sign up for. They may not be the classes that you really wanted to start off with, but they will be classes that are going to get you to your ultimate goal of graduation and to fulfill the degree, general education, and university requirements. So there are things that we will help you get into. They may not be your ideal, but you are going to get into classes and they are going to count and they are going to be helpful.
Awesome. Okay, another question from Caitlin, which Alex might be the one to answer this question as well because he used to work in housing. In regards to housing, when do I find out which hall I am in and whether or not I got the roommate who requested me and I requested back? But we might have to direct him to housing, but
yeah, I would definitely direct you to housing. I know that they are probably still working on assignments and going through all of that process. Definitely talk to them. If you don't get a chance to talk to them early, talk to them at orientation. They'll be there and they could definitely help you through that process.
Great. Okay. For next question from Joshua, for incoming freshmen, do we need to take a language test before orientation? And I think by language, they mean like a language proficiency and a language not English. I think that's what they mean.
So actually, there is one available on the language proficiency page that we showed you earlier. But that one is for Spanish. So if you have previously taken Spanish in high school and you're just not really sure what level you should be at, you can always take that language proficiency test. And all you have to do is log in, take it. This is for your information only. So don't feel pressured to do, to have like a little cheat sheet or anything like that. Like, no, like we want you to really pay attention to what's asked and try your best. But this is more of an evaluation for you so that you know which course you should be enrolling in. We don't want you to enroll in a course that is too much for you, right? That maybe you might not be prepared for yet. But then again, we don't want you to enroll in a course that's too easy, and then you're just gonna feel like it's a waste of time. So you do have to complete up to the 3rd level, the intermediate first. So just letting you know that you might be able to skip out of the 1st level or even the 2nd level and go straight into the 3rd level if you're prepared for that. So that language placement test is there for Spanish if you want to take that. For the other ones, they don't have a placement, but let's say if you've taken 3 years of Italian in high school and you feel pretty good about it, we would even recommend that you go straight into the 3rd level here, and then that's it. You know, you just take that last language course, Italian 201, and you pass it, and then you're good. That's the only language course that you have to take. So yeah.
Great. So yeah, you don't necessarily have to take it before orientation, but you get the Spanish one you can take now.
Yeah.
But you don't need to do it before orientation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question from Caitlin. On the website, I tried to go onto, well, I think Louis actually answered it, but I think we can elaborate a little bit more. On the website, I tried to go onto iLearn email calendar from my dashboard, but I don't have access to it right now. Will I eventually have access to it? If so, when?
Yes, you will have access to it eventually. And it will happen sooner than later. That should happen, if not at the end of this week, at the very beginning of next week, you'll have access to email. Everything will be turned on. We just have to wait for everything to kind of be uploaded into the system, and it does take some time.
Yeah.
So give it a minute. You'll be fine. That's why, I recommend for sure everything should be done by Monday, June 5th. I would definitely recommend checking it around then.
And congratulations on being like,
Yeah.
like that's awesome.
Know, right?
Yeah, like you're already checking for all of that. That's great. The more you get familiar with it, the earlier you get familiar with it, the easier it'll be for you to use it once you actually start classes. So yeah, start playing around with everything once you get access to stuff.
Absolutely. All right, good job. So next we have still a few more coming in.
Nice.
Okay, so for incoming freshmen, where and when do we give our immunization records?
So you want to do that sooner than later, but you actually would coordinate directly with the campus health center. And they may be able to take it in a variety of ways. I don't know exactly how they want it, but you'll want to coordinate with them. And if you look on your to-do list, there's contact information to actually reach out to that department, and they should be able to walk you through that process of everything that you need to do. Whether they'll.
Alex?
What was that?
What's a to-do list?
Oh, well, I mean, you're obviously seeing this on the checklist of like things that, because it's on your CMS page and you'll get it on your CMS page, but you don't have access to that yet. So you're seeing it on the CSUMB webpage. So if you look for the campus health center, look at their contact info, I would recommend giving them a call to see exactly how they want it. A lot of times like a scan or photocopy will work for them, but that's something that you would want to make sure that you talk with them about. And do it sooner than later, because it can keep you from registering for the next semester if you don't get these in during this fall term.
All right, great. Okay, so next question from David. Why does computer science seem to be both CST and computing and design? Why the different names for apparently the same thing?
That's a question for Jessica.
Just replied in the chat to David. So David, you can go ahead and read Jessica Pinales' reply. And that hopefully
Thanks, Jessica.
That's an awesome question.
That's a great specific question that I do.
Jessica Pinales is our computer science advisor, so she should be able to give you a well-informed response.
Shout out to the advisors.
Okay, so we have a final question here from Emily. I sent my official transcript back in March. Do I need to resend my finalized transcript, or will it be automatically sent from my GC?
So that's a great question. If you sent it in March and you were taking courses right in the spring semester, then obviously CSUMB does not know what courses you actually passed or did not pass in your spring semester. So make sure that you request another official transcript to be sent to CSUMB, so the Office of Admissions. So make sure to do that, because that's how, and that'll be required for everybody. So heads up, if you submitted one transcript, you will need to send another final official once grades are posted from spring 2017.
Awesome. We did have another question roll in.
Perfect.
Okay, from Alicia. Going back to the book question, a lot of the classes I had previously taken stated that we needed a book, but we never actually used the book. How accurate is it when the class says we need a book?
There's really no specific way to gauge that. That's why you could always wait until you get the syllabus to know for sure what you're actually using in the class. A lot of times, really here on campus, they are pretty accurate in terms of putting in the book required and submitting that to the bookstore because they do have a deadline for that. So I would say it's usually pretty accurate here. But again, if you feel like you want to wait till the very last second, you can wait until you get that syllabus, but note that you may be behind if we don't have that book then in our library for you to check out and read those early assignments.
One thing that you can also do too is on the class schedule where we had previously clicked on and you could see the description and everything, you could also see the name of the professor and the contact information for the professor teaching the course. So what I used to do, you know, back in my day is I would email the professor directly during the summer and just ask like, hey, what are the recommended readings? So maybe I could do them over summer, or maybe that way I could purchase my books earlier, things like that, just because I kind of like to prepare. Yeah, some professors also have their syllabus done a little bit earlier. So, and some are willing to give that to you earlier as well. Some are not. Some of you have to wait until the first day of classes. So it really does depend. Okay, but just giving you a heads up, you're not going to lose anything from emailing your professor and getting that relationship started already. And just saying like, hi, I'm going to be a student in your class. I'm really excited. Can you please, I would like to know this. I would like to know the recommended readings, you know, things like that. So.
Good idea.
A very good answer to that question. Okay. Oh, another one from David came in. So he said, hey, personal curiosity question. How many older 24 plus students do we have on campus, ballpark ratio?
That is a good question that I do not know the answer to.
Me either.
I will say obviously the majority of our students are that traditional like 18 to 21, 18 to 22, but we do have a rather large veteran population, as well as returning students, and we do have some families that do come to campus. So I couldn't give you a specific number, but we do definitely have quite a few around.
We definitely have non-traditional students come to CSUMB.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I haven't kept count, but we definitely have, you know, students come in who are over the age of 24 for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. With kids, yeah. Sometimes grandkids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
All right, another question we got. Awesome. From Akia. Hi, I'm going to study at CSUMB this fall, and I have a little issue. I sent my enrollment form back in April, and I still don't see it. I still don't see on CMS that the classes I chose. Is it early yet? Maybe is it too early is what she's asking. I sent my enrollment form back in April, and I still don't see on CMS the classes I chose. Is it too early?
What enrollment?
Yeah, I'm not sure which enrollment form you might be referring to. If you are doing like summer coming from abroad or doing something like that, there could be some additional policies, but that may be a case-by-case thing. If you are coming abroad, you may want to reach out to the study abroad office to really, like, you probably have a counselor specifically through them to talk about what that process is going to look like. If that's not the case, I would recommend definitely reaching out to your advisor, your major advisor, to see if they can kind of look stuff up. Without kind of knowing what enrollment form, there may be additional people that we may need to refer you to, but that's something that we could work with you case by case. If you want to send your advisor an email, we can work it out.
Yeah, I think because I think they tried reaching out, and they might need she's saying that they might need instructor permission or something. So I think if getting in touch with either your advisor of the major that you want to pursue here, or the international programs office, we can help clarify any issues you might be facing in an email to us.
Absolutely.
All right. that is all I have here, but maybe as we wrap up, some might come in.
Okay.
Oh, we have one more from Chrissy Lofgren. So just to clarify, I get to register at orientation, right?
No.
Thank you for your question, Chrissy.
Thank you, Chrissy.
We love that.
Yeah. So no. So if you are a transfer student and you are attending orientation, you'll get to register on June 21st. If you are a freshman student and you are attending orientation, you'll get to register June 23rd. If you do not attend orientation, then you will not be able to register until June 26th. And it's a little staggered because we want to make sure that those with more units that have less courses to choose from have an opportunity to get the courses that they need, and we kind of go in that order. But that is a great question. That's something that we should make sure that we reiterate all the time. So.
Oh yeah, I got it on my wrap-up notes just to make sure it wasn't covered, but I'm glad that she asked the question. It's a great question.
Perfect.
And I mean, one of the things that we're going to be doing is during orientation, it's going to be like, meet and greet, like, I'm your advisor, I'm here to help you. What kind of questions do you guys have? Things like that. Maybe go over the major specifics. We're there to answer your questions, and we're there so that we can try to get to know you in that little time that we have there, and so that you can get to know us and ask any questions you might have. But no, you will not be registering during orientation.
Awesome. We actually got a couple more come in. I think we have 4 minutes, so let's do a couple more.
Cool.
After completing early start, do I still need to take remedial classes starting in the fall?
So yes, for the most part, but it does kind of depend on what you're doing for your early start. So some of the early start courses will say that they meet the remediation requirement, some will not. More than likely, yes, you will have to take additional remediation courses in the fall and possibly in the spring, depending on what kind of early start course you're actually taking. But that is something that you would definitely, you can either reach out to us and we can see if we can point you in the right direction of where you want to go. And we may be a good starting point for you to kind of help you through that process. Though we don't oversee early start or remediation, we do know specific people to connect you with if you do have specific questions about that. But for the most part, yes, you will have to take remediation courses. There are some courses, like with the writing course, CAD, that'll look a little bit different in the fall, where you do the remediation in the fall and then you are automatically enrolled in the Area A1 course in the spring. And so that's something that, again, there are case-by-case things that you'll want to talk to your advisor about.
Boom. Okay, Chrissy Lovegreen said that we passed her test. Chrissy is an advisor here with us, so she's asking great questions.
We passed her test.
Chrissy's trying to challenge us.
Yeah.
She said, good job.
Hi, Chrissy.
Yay.
Okay, so from Raquel, are we able to have a guest attend orientation even if they are not registered to attend? Will they be able to pay the same day at the orientation?
I'm not completely positive. I am pretty sure they do have drop-ins for those orientation days, but that's something that you may want to, it may be possible to kind of add them on now if you wanted to reach out to the orientation folks. But I do think they do have drop-in advising, not drop-in advising, but drop-in orientation slots. So if you did want to bring a guest, there may be an additional cost associated with that, but definitely something that you'd want to talk to the orientation folks about.
Definitely. Are we able to meet with our advisors one-on-one before we register on the 21st for transfers?
If you schedule an appointment, yes. So I already have students that are scheduling appointments to meet with me one-on-one. And you can do so by calling our general line. It's 831-582-3937. Mm-hmm. So you're more than welcome to schedule a one-on-one appointment with us. But not only that, but you can also give us a call. We will have call-in hours. You probably received an email for that already. And we also have some walk-in days where you can come in and we'll be there too to guide you through the process of adding courses to your shopping cart and what your schedule is going to look like. So if you're in the area, come in. you know, or if you're not in the area and you're willing to drive all the way over here, more than welcome to come in, okay? But we also have walk-ins every single Wednesday, so throughout the year. So that's something that you can also do too. Come in during our walk-ins on Wednesdays and we will totally help you out. That's what we're here for.
All right. Last one here, or second, very last one is very quick, but as he said, I'm a transfer student majoring in cinematic arts. Are there, all right, are there internships around the area? Are there internships around the area?
So we have, I have had students get internships in, like, for example, local news stations or radio stations. And that is something that I can kind of help you out with one-on-one. But then also you will want to speak with the department as well so that you could possibly get credit. There are semesters where they offer the cinematic arts internship class, which is where you would work with the faculty. And that way they let you know what exactly they need from you from that internship and what you'll need to submit to actually receive credit. So yes, that is available. But for the most part, it'll be a conversation that will need to be had, you know, with me, with faculty from cinematic arts, and then, you know, looking at the area's internships opportunities, because also the department might have some connections already. Sometimes for like temporary shoots that people will come in this area to shoot either a pilot or you know, a season of a certain show, and they'll need interns. So they'll contact the cinematic arts department, and then that's how they'll get students to do those internships. So it'll be a conversation between me and the department and you, and that way we can really, you know, get you going with those internships. Because for you guys, especially cinematic arts students, it's super important that you start getting that experience as well before you actually graduate. So, and the internships are great.
Awesome. Okay. So let's start wrapping up here, and then if one more quick question comes in, we can go ahead and answer that before we officially end. Great work, everybody.
Everybody.
So this was our second live stream in our stream, or in our event of live streams. We're gonna have more this week. We have another one tomorrow, I believe, at 10 a.m. And then we have another one on Friday, I'm sorry, at 2 o'clock, and a couple more next week as well. What we're also going to be doing next week is starting our call-in hours, as Gladys mentioned, where anyone can call in. Us advisors are going to be available to take your questions, help answer quick questions for you during those call-in hours. Also, Gladys also mentioned the open labs that are starting next week as well. Mostly encouraged for local students who live in the local area and can make it to help with getting familiar with loading classes in their shopping cart, getting familiar with their academic requirements page, transfer credit, things like that. So only if you're in the area, we encourage you to go to those open labs. But if you are from out of town, don't worry about those. You have plenty of opportunity to get your questions answered through these live streams or the call-in hours, or making an appointment with us with your advisor, which you will be able to do from June 5th. You can actually do it online. Well, you can call in our office to make appointments, but you can also book online after June 5th, after student matriculation happens by June 5th on the latest. All right. Let's see if we have, oh, and then I also just want to reiterate again, make sure you're checking your emails. Everyone's getting your emails from your advisors right now. We're sending them to your personal email address now. But once you have access to your CSUMB account, we're just going to be emailing to your CSUMB email. All official notification gets sent there, so make sure you're checking that regularly. Okay. Oh, okay. We do have one more question. It's a really good one, and I think we should answer it really quick.
All right.
Does the shopping cart just reserve your spot for the classes you choose?
No. So the shopping cart actually doesn't reserve your spot at all. The shopping cart, it's like shopping on Amazon, right? let's say there's one of these items left. You put it in your shopping cart. You go dilly-dally around, do something else, shop for other things, and you come back and it's like, oh, out of stock. You're like, no! The same thing can happen to your classes if it's just in your shopping cart. You have to actually proceed to step 2 of 3 and finish enrolling, and then it will be reserved, but not until you finish enrolling will it be reserved.
And again, those dates for registration are?
The 21st if you're a transfer that comes to orientation, the 23rd if you're a freshman that comes to orientation, and the 26th if you decide to skip orientation.
For everybody. If you, yeah, any transfer freshman, if you didn't come to orientation, then you register starting June 26th.
Monday.
All right, thank you both so much. This was awesome. We had a lot of great questions today. Thank you everyone for attending. All you new otters are awesome. We're so excited to have you come here and start at CSUMB and get you connected to campus. So you're off to a great start by attending these live streams. We really appreciate your awesome questions. Thank you, Alex and Gladys.
Awesome, thank you.
See you later.
See you later, bye.
Ciao.